What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Blacktide TV. Second video of the day here. If you missed the first video of the day, it will be linked in the description down below and the card in the top right corner, as well as a bunch of other videos that you may enjoy. In this video, we're looking at the first look reticles for the Cyborg camo. This personalization pack came side by side with the Weaponized 115 personalization pack with the Hardened edition or Prestige edition of this game, or I guess it's called the Juggernog edition of the game in Black Ops 3. So if you got either of those editions or the Digital Deluxe edition, you will get the Weaponized 115 personalization pack, which we've already covered. It will be linked in the top right corner, and the Cyborg personalization pack, which includes the camouflage that I'm running on all my weapons today, the Electroflex reticle for the reflex sight, the Holotron reticle for the Varix 3 sight, and the I can't even remember interface for the Recon. All of these names for these reticles I always get mixed up, but it doesn't help that I actually don't have these reticles myself. I am once again using Renman's account for this video, but these reticles are really not that special. They're kind of bulky, they're kind of in your way. I like Holotron on the Varix 3, but the rest of them aren't that great. So let's run through them one at a time here. The first one that we're looking at is Electroflex, which you will catch me saying multiple times. I will call it Electroflux. Electroflux just rolls off the tongue easier. It should just be called that. But I'm going to call it Electroflux a bunch of times. So when I say it, just don't be alarmed. But it is actually called Electroflex, and it's kind of like this winged kind of red dot sight. And it looks nothing like the actual image in the menus. In the menus, it looks like it's this solid kind of gold kind of filament looking, I don't know. But in the actual game, it's just, again, it's like this kind of holographic translucent sight. So it looks a lot cooler in the menus than it actually does when you get it in game, which kind of sucks just because it looks really cool in the menus and I got really excited when I saw it. But it's not that great. It's kind of practical. It's another one of those reticles where you can use it just to kind of show off, but if you're really going try hard, I wouldn't recommend it. Same thing with the interface reticle. Actually, interface reticle for the Recon sight, I wouldn't use this at all. This thing was very hard to use. Of course, I picked the FFAR to put it on. I just usually pick my weapons before I actually look at the reticles themselves. So I was just like, yeah, I'll just use the FFAR. And then I'm trying to use this terrible optic on the FFAR. At least the FFAR is a closer range assault rifle, so it made sense that I had this big, bulky, ridiculous reticle at close range, because using this thing at long range would be very, very difficult. There's so much going on this reticle. There's lines and offshoots and different crisscrossy things happening on here. It's just hard to look at. It's hard to see through, and it's going to distract you, especially at long ranges. If you have this Recon sight on a sniper rifle or on a long range assault rifle or something like that, you're going to be really distracted trying to look through this thing at long ranges, because even those little lines, the amount of how many there are, if an enemy runs across the screen and he kind of runs across where your reticle is aiming, each one of those lines is going to interrupt your view of that enemy, and then your shot is going to be off and you're going to be inaccurate. So this reticle is really not that special. It even doesn't look that cool. I mean, it takes up a lot of the Recon sight, and that might be of interest to you, that it takes up all of the Recon sight, but apart from that, it doesn't really look that cool. It's kind of just like a regular crosshair, except it's way bigger than it needs to be, and it's not very helpful for engaging enemies. The last reticle that we've moved on to here is Holotron on the Varix 3, and this one is definitely my favorite of the three today. And Holotron really glows. It's really nice. It's bright yellow. One thing that you will notice actually in the picture that was up in the top right corner for a second and not in the game is there's actually lines that come off of the very edges of this weird kind of these half circles on each side. There's lines that come out of them and go almost to the edges of the Varix 3. They're very hard to see in game, which is kind of sad because they add a nice little texture to the reticle in the menu system anyway. So it's a really nice reticle. This one is actually pretty practical, especially on closer range stuff. If you're going to put this Varix 3 on an SMG or assault rifle, it'll work for closer range. Longer range, maybe not so helpful, just because it's kind of got these thick lines around the actual central dot, and they might get in your way at longer ranges. But I really like this reticle. It's very flashy. This one actually looks really cool. Definitely worth putting on. So let me know what reticle of these three is your favorite. Is it Holotron, Interface, or Electroflex? Let me know in the comment section down below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something amusing or useful. and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. I think we are almost at 1.4K. When we hit 1.5K, I'm going to be doing the It's Lit challenge from Jerky XP. So that's going to be lots of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully you guys are as well. Make sure you're telling everybody you know about Black Jet TV, and I'll see you guys on the next one.